Hello everybody, Nigel here with you again, back again with another review for you and another cardboard box. And why is it a cardboard box I'm showing you? Because you know that I like to show you the packaging that our sellers use. This came from Time Tunnel Models. Time Tunnel Models I found were the cheapest I could find for this kit, so I ordered it from them. Little disappointed, I got no communication. I got a confirmation of order, that was it, no communication. Emailed them and said, has this kit been sent? Nothing. And then I tried to cancel my order, and lo and behold, after 10 minutes after doing the cancellation process, the doorbell rang, the postman delivered it. So there we go. So cardboard box, beautifully packaged, as you can see. Nice, heavy, thick, double folded cardboard box. And within here we have the beautiful Tamiya F-35A Lightning. So here we go. So let's have a look at the kit. So in the box, it's all nice and glossy, as you can see. This is the F-35A. This is the conventional, normal sort of takeoff and landing aircraft. And then you've got the F-35B, which is the STOL. It doesn't vertically take off, but it vertically lands, I believe. And then you've got the F-35C, which I think is the prettiest one, which has the biggest wingspan, biggest fuel tanks, and is big tough undercarriage and everything for carrier landings. So little bit of history about me. When this plane, when they first started talking about it, it was called JSF, Joint Strike Fighter. I worked for Rolls-Royce at the time, and I was actually involved in doing some of the work on machining parts for the big nozzle system on the back of the vertical landing aircraft. As I say, then it was called JSF, very, very early days. And yeah, it was fun to be working on something that at the time was, I think, quite secret. Not in its actual concept, but I think its actual design was quite secret. So here we have a 48 scale kit, number 124, wingspan of 222mm, a length of 326mm, authentic captured distinctive form with advanced stealth characteristics, depicts radar absorbent material, surface sections. I hope they've got that right on this one, because every other kit is way too heavy. Highly accurate renderings of Y-shaped intakes, engine, nozzle, cockpit and other details. Choose between open and closed weapons bay covers and canopy, and extended or retracted boarding ladder. Includes one pilot figure with helmet mounted display. One pilot figure with helmet mounted display. Okay. That's what that means. Right, it's ready to assemble for 14 and above. It's not a toy, and cement and paint is not included. So the kit number is 124. Looking around the box here, we can see we have 302nd Squadron Fighter Squadron, 3rd Wing, Japan, JSFDF. So that's Japan, in Misawa Air Base. So that's your Japanese version. We've got 9 kinds of markings included. So we've got US Air Force, Royal Australian Air Force, yeah, you can see all those on there. So that's all the different markings you've got. So a hell of a lot of choice in here. We'll have a lot of spare markings. End of the box there, same as the front. And you can see the 61124. And then here is the 332nd Squadron, 132nd Wing, Royal Norwegian Air Force, Keflavik Air Force Base, March 2020. So we've got a nice choice of weapons down there. And here we can see some lovely pictures of the actual model itself, which is nice to see rather than 3D rendered images which never reflect what you're getting. And you can see there close up, weapons base opened, looking very, very nice indeed. I've been speaking to Andy about this kit, Andy Richards, who's one of my original followers, and we originally said this kit was overpriced. He's just had his kit delivered, he's had a quick look at it, and he emailed me and he said, I've changed my opinion, this kit is not overpriced, it's just expensive. And I think at $74.95, which is what I paid for this kit from Time Tunnel Models, I don't think that's bad at all. So, opening the box, this is the first time I've been in here. We can see that we don't have any wonderful packaging or anything, it's all just sort of slung in, but everything is nicely bagged up. So we've got a clear smoked canopy there with the half glass, so that's nice. Upper and lower fuselage sections. The ram looks a little heavy, but it's nice and crisp and sharp, so there we go. The reason I bought this kit is because I have this. You can get this from Premium Hobbies down in Weston-super-Mare, and this is basically the MRP FS36170 for F-16s and F-35s used with half glass. So you've got a special matte varnish here which has got a bit of a metallic flake to it, I think. And then you've got the half glass grey there. Obviously they've been settled, they need a good shake. But that's the actual paint there. So you've got MRP 278 and MRP 280. So I will be using them on this kit, and I will be building this kit on the channel very, very soon. I have a little sort of list of stuff I need to do, but this is one I do want to build. I wasn't originally going to get it, but then I heard it was so nice, I thought I'll go for it. So I did get it. And I was on Ice Queen 7's chat, and a lot of people on there were sort of saying how wonderful this thing is. Wow, quite a package of bits and pieces there. So let's start by having a quick look through the instructions. So we have a bag here which is sellotaped closed. So we're going to have to cut this open because the sellotape does not want to tear. Oh, come on. Blimey. Special Japanese mnemonic sellotape. So we can pull all this out of here and see what we've got in here. So we have obviously a bag. We have some metal rods. They will become apparent what they're for. We have a sheet telling us some history of the aircraft, armaments and everything, which is always nice. Tamiya seem to do this lately. It's always a nice touch when they do that. We have, this is the instruction manual by the look of it. We have some tech tips here, so we can look at those if we're a newbie. We have stencils, A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. It's the A is in green, so I'm not quite sure if this is only for A, but we have some beautiful A. It's almost A2 size. So lovely coloured diagrams there. So this is the US Air Force 2015 from Hill Air Force Base. So that's all very nice. And then here we have stencils. I'm not sure if that's telling us stencils for A or stencils for all of them. A is lit up green, so, or highlighted in green, should I say. And then we've got the ram coating early versions. Wow, this is going to take some. Apply these decals first if choosing marks in A or B. So there we go. So there's your ram decals going on there. And then we've got ram coating late version. So this is the ram coating is not so pronounced on these. So that's version C through J. Then we got some more. I mean, look at this. This is just crazy. I'm not going to go through them all, but look, we've got that one there. So that's version B. And then over the page here, we've got version C. So that's our, I think this is our decal placement. Version D, version E. Version F. That's going to be G, yep. And then we've got H and J. So quite incredible, all of the different versions that we have. So that's what's probably putting the price of this kit up. I should imagine the decal sheet is going to be huge. So let's have a quick look at the instructions. It's a funny instruction book. It's like, it's sort of A4 tall but A5 wide. So in fact it's not even, it's wider than A5. So straight away we're going into a correction. These are additional instructions. So this is a correction sheet to go with the manual there. So nice that they've done that. So we're starting off, I'm guessing the first thing you need to do is decide what colour, or not what colour, what version you're going to do. They're telling us LP14 and LP59. So that's going to be, yeah, that's going to be the half-gas colour, isn't it? So LP59 is NATO brown, and LP14 is a Japanese ship. This is the Mizaru Arsenal. So they're telling you to mix those together. So it's 7 of those and 1 of those. And I think that's going to be for your half-glass colour. So worth remembering if you don't have the MRP or don't want to get them. So here it's telling us to drill some holes, cut some bits and pieces off, and for different versions and stuff. So straight away you're going to have to know what version you're going to do before you start. This is, you're drilling these 2 holes here. That's for the Norwegian Air Force. I will probably do the US Air Force, to be honest. Although we do have RAF, don't we? Do we have RAF? No, of course the RAF don't have the A, do they? The RAF have the B. I believe they're grounded again as well, aren't they? So in here, telling us all bits and pieces about RCS radar cross section enhancers, basic fitted during exercises but not in live action. So you make your mind up whether you're going to put those on or not. That's that one there, A61, and where's A60? There. So you've got those two going on there, so you may not want to fit them. It's telling us here to paint the cockpit area semi-gloss. Oh, this is the LP14, so it's just the front edge of the actual air intakes. So there we go. When no colour is specified, paint the item with the fuselage colour, referring to the separate painting guide. So I think they're giving you a mix somewhere. So building up the cockpit there, which looks quite nice. We've got decals for the cockpit, adding the cockpit into the upper fuselage, and then here we're building up the nose gear bay. So it looks like we've given the option here of having the nose wheel folded up for building, and then we can fold it down afterwards. So that's a nice touch. So it actually slightly looks like it's going to slot in behind there when it's folded up, when it's lowered down, should I say. Undercarriage bay going into the lower fuselage section, obviously typical Tamiya, telling us to remove lugs and everything, which obviously need to come off. And then we've got our intakes here, which look very, very complex, and we've got lots of different colours and bits and pieces going on. And then we're adding the intakes onto the nose, so you've got basically a nose with the intakes, and then dropping that into the lower fuselage. Fuselage colour around there, and then we're going to choose our weapons. So in this early stage of the build, we're selecting the ordnance. So you've got beast mode, air-to-air mode, and stealth mode. So beast mode looks pretty good, doesn't it? Because you've got the stealth in there as well. So you've got the GBUs and the AIM 120s, and you've also got all your GBUs on the wings. So probably go for that one, look best. And then you're going to be drilling holes if you're going for version C, B, or whatever you're doing according to that call out there. And again, they're talking about these radar cross-section enhancers, A62 and A63. Now they're going in the bottom, so you may decide to use them or not, whether the aircraft's on training or not. And then we've got some decals going in here. Wow, this is complex. And then we've got the fuselage markings. You're adding decals on the top, which is unusual to have through a build. And then we've got painting the weapons bay, so it's giving us all the different colours to paint all the different hoses in the weapons bay, and then all the different colours to paint all the different panels and boxes and bits and pieces. So very, very detailed painting instructions there. Here we've got the engine going together, so that's going to be your intake. Building up the weapons bay 1, so this is what you've just painted. So you may want to build it all up first and then paint it all white and then do the detail painting after. And then you're adding in your pipe work here, your ducting and everything. So it's going to be a, oh, look at this, gorgeous. It's going to be a lovely, lovely feature of the model, the big weapons bay in the bottom. So you've got your engine there going in with your intake fan. And then you're going to build up, what's this here? Cement firmly. So this is the spar. They're calling this the spar. So that's going to go in on the top of your weapons bay. So that's going to support the wings and everything. Not that I mean, it's only a small airplane. Does it really need a big spar to hold it all together? There's nothing to it. Strange. Attaching his weapon bay side panels. I sometimes think Tamiya do this sort of thing, and it's kind of over-engineered, and that's what makes their kit so expensive. It's like their Yamato premium kit. They call it a premium kit, but it doesn't even come with any photo etch railings. It doesn't come with a wooden deck. It doesn't come with any metal barrels. You know, and then it's got that stupid hull design with all the different... If you've seen Plastic Monkey build it, it's got the stupid hull design with all the separate panels and everything. Why? You could have made it in one piece and charged half the money for it, you know. And it kind of wonders with Tamiya sometimes, these sort of things. Got these panels going in the side here. Again, we've got decals going in for different versions. And then we've got our engine exhaust here, which is just a standard straight blowback exhaust without the swivel on it. Building up the main landing gear left and right. Just giving us all the colour call-outs there for the painting. Fitting the landing gear. Fitting the landing gear doors. We've got decals again for the ram around the edge of them. And then here, that's amazing. You're cutting this lump of plastic off the back that's kept your nose gear up, and now you can bring it down. That is just, you know, this is something that only Tamiya can do with their engineering. But sometimes I think they go over the top, as I just said. So here we've got our nose gear landing gear doors. So they're multi-part assembly again. They're going to be lovely. You've got the wheels and tyres going together there. And then we're adding in the EOTS sensor, whatever EOTS means, I can't remember. And then we've got lots of bits and pieces going in the nose gear bay. And then we're starting on our weapons now. So we've got our, so we can have it open or closed up. If you're going to close that weapons bay up, you're mad. Why have it closed up? It's beautiful. So we've got the doors going on there, and then we've got central weapons bay covers with all the RAM around them as well. You might decide to paint this rather than put decals on, to be honest. And then we've got the doors going in there in the weapons bay. And we've got central weapons bay cover parts. So they're going in. So you've got left and right marked on those great big tabs going in, which is nice. And then we're going to build up our JDAMs. We've got our AMRAMs. And then we're going to attach all them into the weapons bay here on the external pylons or whatever. And then we've got the outer weapons bay cover left. That's a multi-part assembly. And there's those metal rods that we saw just now. So that's all very nice. And then we've got the other side. And we've got those hinge pins going in there. So that's all very nice. I'm wondering if you can actually move the doors open or closed, or if that's just there for strength. Or for, you know, for realism, maybe to give it a proper looking fine hinge rather than have a great big lump of plastic there, or something spindly that snaps as soon as you look at it. And then we're going to build the flapperons. Ooh, I like those. So the flapperons going together, and then we're going to add them in. So we've got up and down. So we've got, these are the down flaps, and they're the up flaps. So it looks like you've got the choice, and you could perhaps just slot them in and decide which display you're going to have your model in today. And they've got leading edge flaps. So they're slats, are they, not flaps? And then we've got the tail planes going together. So attaching the tail planes there. And then we've got missile launchers, so they're basically like pylons going together. And then we're building up some sidewinders, some more pylons. We're going to build up our GBU paveways, all the painting and decaling instructions there. Adding the paveways onto the pylons, adding the pylons onto the wing. Building up the vertical stabilizers, adding those in. And then it's telling us fuselage colour. I'd love to know what this fuselage colour is. We'll have a look in a minute. And then we're going to build up the ejector seat, which is a multi-part assembly, which is very nice. We've got photo etch belts by the look of it. Sorry, not photo etch, decal belts. So I wish they'd given us some photo etch belts, or even moulded the bolts onto the seat would have been better, I think. And then adding up the ejector rails there, and then fitting the seat in, painting up the pilot. You've got all the beautiful call outs there for that. And then we're going to build up the instrument panel. We've got decals for that. And then we've got the ladder going on the side. And then we've got this panel here, which is open, deployed to have the ladder exposed or closed up there. And then we have painting and marking the canopy. So we've got masks, obviously, for the canopy. And then we're going to paint the frame. Is this for the inside? I have to look at that in detail, but it looks like they may have masks for the... No, they're saying a mask the inside there, so that's just for the outside. And then you give the inside a full mask. And then we've got a canopy frame going in here, which is nice. And then this is with the canopy closed, and this is with the canopy open. So that's all very nice indeed down there. And then on the back of the page, we've got that. On the back of the book, we've got that there. So I'm going to turn the camera off and just have a look and see what they're recommending for the actual paint for the actual fuselage itself. So it looks like the colour they're telling you to use is LP15, which is another Imperial Japanese Navy grey. This is the Yokosuka Arsenal. So LP15 and LP59, I think it was 5:1. So that's how you're going to make up your colour there. So handy to know that the actual colour on the intakes and that was different, so that'll look quite good. But the MRP paint I'm going to use is very, very tough, and it will take the you can spray it both on top of this, and you can spray this on top of that. So it's Tamiya LP paints are amazing. Right, so moving on to the decal package. It's hardly a sheet, it's a package, and we've got lots in here. I've gone around and taken all the staples out. I don't know why Tamiya keep using these bloody staples. I wish they'd stop. So here we have basically a load of low-vis decals. So we've got Denmark, Korea, Italy, Australia, Israel, Norway, Netherlands, Japan, USA, and then we've got general up there. So you can see it's a beautiful decal sheet, all low-vis, all very, very nice indeed. As I say, some of this stuff you may decide to paint rather than use decals for, but very, very good looking. In fact, if you want some colour, the only one to go for is Denmark, because it's the only one you're going to get any colour on. The rest of it is all totally low vis. I should be going with the American, I think. But we've got Lieutenant Colonel George Watkins and Senior Sergeant, is that Senior Staff Sergeant Zachary Kasperex. So Whether they're real people or not, I do not know. So there we go. So there's no actual film separately for that one. We've got the paper on that one. And here are all our ram decals. So you're getting one sheet of these, so you got one go in it, and that's it. You may wish to mask it and paint it. I believe DN Models, I think, are doing a mask set for this. But these are Tamiya decals. I'm not sure if they're cartograph or not. They have Tamiya printed there, so I'm guessing they're not cartograph. I'm not sure. But there you go. You've got your big sheet there of all your ram decals. So have some fun with that. Nice to see on here they haven't got carrier film in between, so you have to be a little bit careful sliding them off. Make sure they're good and wet and ready to go. Start pulling them about, they're going to on you and just tear. So worth remembering. So that's the ram decals there, which is nice, and the low vis decals there. And I've dropped the bag on the floor. I'm going to put these away for fear of them getting spattered with anything or sprayed or whatever. So we'll put those away like that. There's a bloody staple in the side of the bag. I'm not content with just having staples in the end. The other thing is, I wish they'd seal their decals up, because the trouble is, you know, if this kit should be a damp warehouse or whatever, it can affect the decals because they're obviously not airtight. So here's one I didn't take the staples out of because it was within the bag. I didn't notice, so we'll have a look and see what's in here. These are, don't worry before you start having a panic, these are very old Tamiya cutters. They're absolutely shot. They've got chips and everything in them, so that's why I use them for cutting staples. So here we have some more ram decals. They're probably a correction. Please use these decals. Yes, they're a correction. So you've got decals in here that you can do a test with, because those, the 130 and 141 are in here. You're replacing them. There they are there. Look, there's one there. So you're replacing that with that one. So you've got one to practice with. So there we go. Tamiya decals aren't the best, as we all know. We've got masking sheet here, and once again it's not die cut, it's just marked out, so you've got to cut them out yourself. So that's absolutely fine. Sounds kind of better if they were die cut, but never mind. And then we've got here our sort of stencils, and this is our decals for the cockpit. We've got some placards here, we've got some general decals there. And then we've got some decals for our AIM 9Xs, our GBUs, GBU 31s and AIM 120s. So all nicely done there, so you can get a full loadout of weapons and fill your boots. So there we go, so that's those. Come on, go back in there, right. And then that can go back in there, and then they're all protected away from the atmosphere. Right, so let's have a look at the kit. So we'll start off with the upper fuselage. So we've got the upper fuselage here. Very nicely done, typical sort of nice, lovely, clean, crisp moulding with no flash, reasonably sized sprue gates. No, there's ejector pins in there, but I don't think they're anywhere they're going to be seen. And we have got 2022, so it's brand new tooling. It's not the Italeri tooling. Don't confuse this kit with the Italeri / Tamiya F-35. It's not the same kit. But beautiful moulding there. You can see it's very, very crisp and quite restrained with the ram tape as well. Probably a little bit over the top, but it's there nonetheless. Very, very nice indeed. So as you can see, beautiful crisp detailing. We've got all the panel marks there with all the riveting, and then we've got all the detail around the edge of the cockpit there. So very nicely done. And we've got the lower half of the fuselage here. It's not a very big aircraft. And this again is all gorgeously done. We've got all the ram markings there. We've got the panel lines in between the ram markings. We've got all the little fairings and shapes and bits and pieces on the wings, as you can see. All very, very nicely done indeed. All very subtle. Very light as well. It's very thin. It weighs hardly anything. So that's going to go together like that. So we'll put that over there out of the way so it won't get damaged. Right then, let's have a look at some sprues. In fact, let's have a look at this one first. It's got our interior nose section on it. So this is actually your nose. It's going to go up into there, I believe. Or is it? No, this is the underside of the nose. So that's going to be under there like that. So this out around here is all the exposed. And you can see some very, very lovely slide moulding incorporated there. People ask what slide moulding is. You can see one part of the tool's there, one part's there, one part's there, and one part's there. And that enables you to get detail all the way around. And there is a seam line there. If you can make it out, there's a very, very slight seam line there by my finger, which is unavoidable with slide moulding. But always worth, when you're getting kits like this, always get them as early as you can, because slide moulds do wear, and that seam there will just get worse and worse and worse. And you end up, you see some trumpeter kits, they've got a great big step. And that's what you want to try and avoid. Get in early and get one of the first editions. And then we got our, I'm not sure if that's the tail planes or the vertical stabilizers. I think that's the vertical stabilizers. Again, they've got all the RAM detail on them as well, which is very nice. So we'll put that away. That's a lovely piece of moulding there. Gorgeous. Right. So here we have another sprue, and this is our intake parts. So nice to see they've got the ejector pin marks on the outside, not the inside. That's cool. No ejector pin marks in there in the exhaust. So that's cool. And that moulding on there is absolutely gorgeous. Look at the moulding on there. That is so, so sharp. Absolutely beautiful, that is. You have to be careful not to damage that when you're building. And then you've got your air intake, the engine intake there, which is nicely done. I don't think you're going to see much of it. But and then we've got interior canopy frames there. So that's obviously, one is raised and one is lowered, I'm guessing. Yeah, one is raised, one is lowered. So again, you've got plenty of bits to practice with. And you can see on here the beautiful moulding on there. The RAM detail on there is gorgeous. Very, very sharp as well. That deserves to go away. We do not want that one getting damaged. Come on. Go in the bag, you swine. I often wonder how these manufacturers bag these up, because sometimes they're a nightmare to get back in the bags. Here's a novelty. Tamiya kit, no staples. Yay! Maybe they're learning. Maybe they've learnt. So this is our general sprue. So that's that great big spar thing that the little tiny kit obviously needs. It's a huge moulding. It's really strong. You've got your wheelbase in there. And then we've got the pilot there with the separate head. All looking very nice. And he's got his goggles down, so you don't have to worry about painting eyes and stuff. You've got all the cockpit details here. I'll give you a close-up in a minute. It's like a sort of double-sided sprue here. It's a bit weird. I'll show you something in a minute. We've got some actuators for the main gears there. This looks like actuators and hinges for the gear doors. Very, very nicely done. Very, very crisp. Very, very sharp. Really, really lovely. So you can see here, there's your wheel bay details on there. And then we've got our wheels themselves. You've got your seated pilot figure there. Sides of the seat. Got some fairings there, or that's pods or pylons. Actuators and bits and pieces for your undercarriage there. You can see some more little tiny, looks like little oleo legs or something there. And then we've got this is the back of the cockpit. And there's your door there for your ladder, which is there. Okay, and then weirdly the cockpit is sort of moulded upside down, so it's on the ejector pin side. And they've got the ejector pins running around the outside of the cockpit here. You can see, I'm sure they're going to be hidden by the sidewalls. I'm guessing. There's the sidewalls there by the look of it. It looks like they're going to be hidden by them. So, bit of clever thought there by Tamiya. Who wants to count the ejector pins on the back of that part there? They don't matter at all, but there's a lot of them there. So yeah, very nicely done. Beautifully made seat. So probably no need for any resin in this. So just get this one put away. And you can see here they've got the separate sprue. So obviously we're going to be getting we're going to be getting a B and a C, I guess. So I think the B's got the same wings as the A, hasn't it? The C has the wider wingspan, which is the best, I think, the best looking of the bunch, the C. So here we've got another sprue here. Again, some extremely crisp detail. So we've got our nose gear bay there, and you can see, again, it's a separate sprue, so you can see we've got other ones coming. Beautifully moulded undercarriage leg. And if you note that little lump on the back there, you put it in, it stays up, and then if you're going to have your undercarriage down, you cut that off, the lump falls out, and you can swivel the leg round. So clever. Main gear legs there, which look nice and strong. Some big, strong, positive locations as well. And then we've got our tail planes, or I'm not sure if it's tail planes or vertical stabilizers here, again with the ram moulding on them, which is very nice indeed. But the detail in that nose gear bay, you can imagine painted white with a bit of a wash, it's going to look lovely. Then we've got bits and pieces around here for our weapons bay, I think. Or is it for the undercarriage bay? But it's for a bay. So very nicely done. Also nice to see they've moulded the leading and trailing edges there. And then you've got an insert to go in, so you don't have to worry about seam lines around the outside and stuff. And you always get a lovely sharp trailing edge that way without having it moulded in two halves. Onto the next sprue here. This is the penultimate grey sprue, I think. And then this is the pièce de résistance. Look at that. Look at that weapons bay. If you close that up, you're a numpty, I'm afraid. Just joking. You've got the back wall there, or the front wall for it. That's the front wall, isn't it? I think that's the back wall. So yeah, we've got some pylons there. And then we've got ducting to go in the weapons bay, and all sorts of doors and everything, and more hinges and actuators and bits and pieces. You can see it's very nice indeed. Even the back side of that is complex. Look at that. And that's all done like that to prevent sinkage. So yeah, very nicely done indeed. That weapons bay is unbelievably pretty. So I hope they do a C. I hope they do a C version. So that'll be a nice looking build. And then here we've got a pair of sprues. Of course, quite heavy. And these are our weapons and main gear, main wheels. So there we've got our JDAMs and everything on there. And our GBUs and pylons, sidewinders and AMRAMs. Very nicely done indeed. And they are gorgeous. Shame they didn't use the AMK version of the moulding the weapons, you know, in one piece with the slide moulding like they did with the nose. But nice to see the missiles, the sparrows and the sidewinders and the AMRAMs are moulded as one. No separate fins to glue on or anything, which is nice. But yeah, lovely. They look lovely painted up, bit of rough cast texture on there, and those beautiful feathers for the engines there, with the sharp points on there. So a bit of care is going to be needed with those, because they're going to be easily damaged if you just knock them on anything that's going to damage them. So yeah, all in all, beautifully done, and that's how they were bagged up back to back. So get those put away so they don't get damaged. I worry about those little points on those little turkey feathers, if that's what they're called. We'll put that up there. Let's put that back in the box. We've got a little clear sprue here, which I'm not going to get out. We've got the little that's going under the nose, and then we've got other clear panels there for all over the thing, all with these angular shapes for the radar. And for some reason we have two canopies. So that's H1 and that's it. They're identical. So for some reason they give you two. I don't know if I'm supposed to have two, or if, well, you know, because as you notice with Tamiya you don't get sprue call-outs generally. But very nice and clear, as you can see on there. I don't want to get them out because I don't want to scratch them. But very nice, very well done. Are they the same shade? Yeah, they're the same. They're identical. Maybe one's supposed to be clear and one's dark. I don't know. But I've got two of them in this kit. So that is that. Not a hell of a lot of kit. but you know, it's not a hell of a big airplane. It's, what's that? It's 32 centimeters long, so it's not a big airplane, but it's got quite a presence to it because of all the different shapes and everything. I'm going to build this on the channel, and I think I will probably build it as an early version with all the exposed RAM, because it does look quite attractive, and then go from there. And I will do it as a US Air Force, I should imagine. So there we are. That is the brand new Tamiya Lockheed Martin F-35A kit number 61124. And as I say, I got this from Time Turner Models, $74.95, which was the cheapest I could find it anywhere. And as I say, packaging wonderful, price wonderful, communication awful. Would I use them again? Definitely, no problem at all. Just their way, I guess. I guess we get so used to these days, you know, your package is in waiting, your package is going to be packaged today, your package has now been packaged and is waiting for the courier. You know, you get loads of emails, but I guess Time Turner Models don't do that. So, but I got it cheap, so I'm happy, and it's all in good condition, and it was well packaged. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all soon, and as I say, sometime this year, early in the year, we'll get this all put together, because it looks like a fairly quick build. A lot of fun, and it's probably just going to fall together because it's Tamiya. I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.